What am Logic's back with another one. Today, this video I'm making it for a certain reason. And the reason is because for some reason in my video about Lord Jamar and Flat Earth Dave and all that debacle, people really were fixated on Candace Owens and the comments made about her.
You know what I'm saying? Drop a like, leave a comment, let me know you're in here. We finna have fun tonight.
Now, why? I have no idea, because it was such a small, insignificant part of the entire video, which was irrelevant to the topic for the most part. But people really want to defend Candace. And for those that don't know, some of my most popular videos on this channel has been about Candace Owens and how much people hate me for criticizing her. But nonetheless, people like this were in my comments and it infuriated me. Feel free to pause the video so you can read this exchange with me and a commenter and how it went. But this is one of the people I'm going to make the video for. There's more in the comments that have these same sentiments, but for you to just willfully listen to Candace and hear the stupidity that comes out of her mouth, this is for you. Because the fact that you think she has good political takes but literally lives in a reality that's not the earth that we all share this same experience on is problematic for me. This is going to be a prime example of why I and Dante Nero and a lot of other people feel this way about her. But before we do that, make sure you leave a like, comment, sub, if not one, then all three. Now, let's get to the video.
It's interesting, the conspiracies that we've been talking about so far, there's a lot of incentive structures, like reasons that the government would want to push these narratives for their own benefit. But one that you talked about, and you haven't gone into it too much in depth, but you don't believe dinosaurs are real.
So this is a funny one. So this is one of the ones where I'm like, gut, I'm not kidding. This conversation happened and it was so funny. I was just walking with Savannah, my manager, because we do like these little evening walks. And I just looked up to her and I was like, dinosaurs, that seems pretty fake and gay. She's like,
what is with the gay? What are you talking about? Saying it's fake is one thing, but what does gay have to do with anything? That's fake and gay. Like, what is this random shot at gay people about? Like, what? Please tell me the correlation.
Savannah's from Tennessee. She's like, I've never believed in dinosaurs. Like, literally, everyone thinks there's like some conspiracy behind it. I was like, that was how it started. And I was like, what on earth? You rawr? I'm like, it's funny because people will literally say they don't believe in God, but
to be fair, it is funny that we figured out. I don't know the science behind if they really think dinosaurs sounded like that. I don't know how they figured it out, but that part I did say that. So I'm like, how the fuck do y'all know what they sounded like? Whatever. But that's irrelevant to them existing.
And tell them like dinosaurs aren't real and they fall apart. Like I'm like, okay, so they're just roaming the planet.
And I'm sure they fall apart because you say that without any proof of it. You just ask questions, don't understand the answers to them, and just act like you know better.
And I was like, that's really interesting. But then, because I got into and very much subscribe and believe and know to be true that there is a Christ conspiracy that's happening right now, which is
the irony. I know in this fact to be true, the Christ conspiracy. Let's see how you connect dinosaurs with Christ, as if anybody is trying to make those two things go against one another.
Intentional removal of Christ because they want people not to believe in God, but instead to believe in humans.
What does dinosaurs have to do with God? Dinosaurs were just animals that were here before the animals we see now, and some of them still exist. Like, what is the discrepancy between believing in God and believing in dinosaurs?
Well, that is what evolutionary theory was about. Because rather than making human beings believe that they had a creator, there was no concept of a dinosaur until 1850. That's very recent.
I don't even know if that's true. I'll look it up and post it, but I don't believe that's true. And even still, why on earth is there a problem? You can believe in evolution and believe in God. I don't see the conflict between those two things.
Right. That's the first time they were like, we actually think that there were these reptiles that are roaming the planet. And then within that same decade, they were like, dinosaur bones.
Why wouldn't she just think that they found bones and then went from there? Why does she think somebody just popped in the head, hey, dinosaurs existed, let's go look for remnants of them? Like, this is how Candace Owens' brain works. This is how her brain works. For all you Candace fans, this is how she operates. Backwards. Everything is fucking backwards to her. Somebody randomly thought something existed and then they went to go look for it. That's how things work to her.
And they started finding them everywhere. I'm like, okay, so nobody found this, and then like
Really?
suddenly there's entire museums and
What the fuck is that? What?
China, they have actually been caught manufacturing dinosaur bones many times over. In China, they have actually been caught manufacturing dinosaur bones many times over. And
what does that have to do with real ones? People have been caught manufacturing money, Candace. Does that mean money doesn't exist? People manufacture documents all the time. People commit fraud all the time. Does that mean real versions of those things don't exist? What the fuck is that argument? People have been caught manufacturing dinosaurs, and then they got caught, Candace. That's the funny part. Some people saying there's a consensus with paleontologists that say these are real bones because they've done the work to figure that out. You've done shit. And they caught the fake ones. Why is that a hard concept to grasp, Candace?
And it is the case that dinosaur bones, for whatever reason, are always just found by the paleontologists. Like it's not.
No, they're not. You fucking idiot. I'm pleading to Candace fans. This is how her brain works. She just says shit and without doing any research, any understanding of the topic, without knowing anything, but just makes these bold claims because no, paleontologists are not the only people that found dinosaur bones. But it would make sense that they probably find the most because they dedicate their time and effort and energy and education to figuring out that type of stuff.
Not like you and me.
It's just this disrespect of people. It's just these people disrespect feels that they don't understand and just act like everybody's in on this big heist to get over on I don't know who for I don't know what. Like, come on, why the fuck can't you just accept it? You don't know something and other people do.
Walking outside, I'm like, hey, a dinosaur bone. And
some people done that.
Like it's not like you and me walking outside. I'm like, hey, a dinosaur bone.
Yeah, that's happened, motherfucker. That's happened.
And or by somebody who's related to a paleontologist. It's very strange. But anyways, I don't know for sure.
But you think the incentive structure there is to move away from God?
Well, they want you to believe that God isn't real, that like the theory of evolution, like you're an ape. What happened was just over time, like you used to be a little chimpanzee, but then with time, this is why you learned about the theory of evolution, Homo sapiens.
I'm sorry. I hope I'm not getting sick. I know I don't sound like me, but what the we used to be little chimpanzees. No, there's not, for y'all, for those that don't understand evolution, it is not that we used to be chimps and apes and gorillas and then we became humans. That's not what it is. Being related to something doesn't mean you came from something. We are related to apes. We didn't come from apes.
And Australopithecus, but then we were Homo erectus, but then with time, this is why you learned about the theory of evolution, Homo sapien, Australopithecus, but then we were Homo erectus, and now you're a human being.
That was the dumbest thing she said. Like, first of all, you were always a human being. She got the order wrong. We're Homo sapiens now.
What happened was just over time. Like you used to be a little chimpanzee, but then with time, this is why you learned about the theory of evolution, Homo sapien, Australopithecus.
We're Homo sapien now. Australopithecus came before.
Yes, but then we were Homo erectus, and now you're a human being.
Human being we were always human beings. You fucking idiot. And people listen to her like, I like Candace. She's pretty objective, and she takes the time to learn the knowledge of things that she speaks on. Get the fuck out of here.
That's the definition of Satanism, like to believe.
What does Satan have to do with any of this? This dumbass, and he just not asking any questions. Like he doesn't know shit either, probably. Or these people are just scared to challenge Candace because she's well spoken for whatever reason. But why the fuck aren't you asking good questions? Asking good questions. And what the fuck does that have to do with Satanism?
Believe that like Earth is the kingdom, kind of.
Yes, and that is what these people were pushing. And so once you start to realize that Satanism is real, that these people who create
the only people that believe in Satan are Christians. That's the funny part about it. Like y'all be this Satan is a Satan. Like you're literally trying to say that people that aren't Christians are believing in Satan when we don't believe in Satan. You believe in Satan. So why are you applying that to everybody else? Like that's what they're like. When are the Satan meetings? What the hell is wrong with you?
Created everything that we view in Western society to be real. Believed in Satan, right? They know God's real. and yet they're convincing everyone that God isn't. And so when you speak to people that are super rational out of school, you're like, well, the evolutionary theory makes sense. So it makes sense to you that you started as a chimpanzee. Like that's
No, you just don't understand what you're talking about, or you don't understand evolution.
a faith, buddy. It makes sense to you. And if you say to them, like, of course you went to the moon, then you start talking about basic science, but they don't actually know. They can't talk to you about Van Allen belt. They don't know.
Tell us how your microphone works. Tell us how the camera you use, exactly how it works to record you and put you on the internet. Tell us how your genes are made. Tell us how your cell phone works. Oh, well, shit, can't believe it. You can't explain it. I don't know how I can tell you. It doesn't exist.
Don't know anything. It's a faith. Like they have asserted, and what's interesting, even that
faith.
going to the moon, the Bible talks about a firmament, and
you just can't say the Bible like y'all know I'm not gonna do it. I'm not.
The firmament in the Bible, if you look at that, you would go, okay, well, it says that.
So everything is right because Candace believes it, then it's true. Everything else, it doesn't matter what proof, what evidence, what research has gone into these things. It doesn't matter because if Candace can't wrap her mind around it, it doesn't exist.
As below, so above, and this is how God created it. So if the Bible is real, which I know in my heart to be true, there's no way.
In your heart, this is Candace Owens. In her heart is what's true, not the reality of things. All that. The things, everything everybody else can see and feel and know is not in Candace's heart, so not valid.
Hey, we got past this firmament, but it's interesting because once you start to realize that all of it is about countering everything that is in the Bible, right? You have a creator. No.
Narcissism. Everything revolves around what I think. Like, get the out of here.
Evolutionary theory is real. Actually, what happened was a meteor hit, and I don't know, like the meteor hit and wiped out the dinosaurs, but then like the lizards came. I don't even really, when you get down to even just thinking about that, you're like, okay, so it wiped out the dinosaurs. Then what happened?
It wiped out the ones that couldn't exist. We still have forms of dinosaurs today that was around back then. If I'm not mistaken, like rhinos, gators, those were things that supposedly exist during the dinosaur era, if I'm not mistaken.
They're like, well, then the amoeba was around, but then like little lizards are from that. I actually don't I have a lot of questions. I wish I was in 6th grade again because they
No, you can look this shit up. You just don't want to.
Tell us all this stuff. Like dinosaurs are like when you're in 2nd grade and guys are like, yeah, guys are the hardest about the dinosaur. They are dinosaur stands.
I love dinosaurs growing up.
I know. Boys love it. It's like a culture. So when I said this on my show, I was like, dinosaurs are fake and gay. My
fuck is the gay?
Producer, all the boys were like, no, you've taken it too far. I will quit this show. It was really funny. I was like, oh, it's so sweet. You guys love your dinosaur still. And my son loves his dinosaur.
So
but it is interesting that like they kind of drop it after 2nd grade. Like they take you to the Natural History Museum and then there's no more talk about dinosaurs like later on in school. And they
just for what? It's not like this ongoing. When people find them, then they get talked about again if they find new bones. But like, what is there to talk about? We know they existed.
Understand that children's minds are malleable, but when you get older, you might ask some questions. Like I would have a lot of questions now if I.
Candace has all the questions, but never cares about the answers. That's the problem. You get a lot of questions about Jewish people too, right? Yeah.
Was sitting in 2nd grade, and they were like in a great big meteor hit, and then all the dinosaurs went away. I would be like, oh, okay, but then what happened? Then what happened? And I don't think that we.
Do you think that's the higher ups' attempt to maybe get us used to the idea of a mass extinction event?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of that. And it very much empowers the fear that people have in like climate change. And well, this could happen again, or if we don't get this right. And ultimately, what are they doing? Drawing you more towards the idea that a creator is not real, but ultimate governance is real. So you have to make sacrifices. Don't think about God being real. If you want to stay alive, what are you going to sacrifice?
What the is thinking about God going to do for you, Candace? He has not come down yet. When is he going to come down? When the human era of climate change gets ignored? Is that when he's going to come? Like, get the
government. Okay, well, you can't use oil. I mean, you can't use gasoline and petrol. You're going to have to drive electric cars, you know? Well, we've got to reduce the temperature by this.
Again, you're ignoring all the people that spend their time figuring this shit out because you don't understand it. You act like it doesn't exist.
And by that, and you see that is a religion. And these people will call themselves atheists. And I'm like, you guys have a deeper faith than anything I've ever known.
And then we get that stupid line again. How is it a deeper faith to believe in what's been proven to you and accepting that? But yet you have the deeper faith and belief in something you've never experienced at all. at all. Stop.
These people, when the government says mask up, save lives, let your parents die alone, they listen. They listen and they laugh at the Catholics. Like, oh, you believe in the sacraments. I'm like, homie, okay, you believe in things that are so utterly absurd. I mean, during COVID, if the government had said, hop on one foot, that's the only way you're going to stay alive, you would have seen mofos. Like,
no, first of all, that's a world that you can't imagine because there's no reality where you can picture the government saying hop on one foot to save yourself. Like that until something like that happens, like telling us to wear a mask isn't out of the realm of reality to prevent the spread of a fucking infectious virus. Like I don't get how you got there, ma'am. That doesn't make sense, and people would reject it. People with sense reject stupidity, but you accept it full on. So,
I mean, the 6 feet thing was really funny.
of course, like no,
how was that
sense.
funny? I mean, even if it wasn't the best effective way, it's like, why are y'all acting like it's just this thing that just, how could you tell us to stand 6 feet away from people? Like, bro, this is unprecedented. People are not going to have all the answers the first time something happens.
That just sounds.
Y'all forgot what it was like before before 9/11? Shit changed after that because something like that never happened before.
Sounded stupid. And again, it's the intuition. Can I explain why that sounds stupid in scientific terms, science, which I think has become a faith? No, I just have this intuition. I think
intuition, like the intuition, my gut, I feel that's all we've gotten from her. We done, bro. Like this is my point. And I bet you some Candace stans is going to raid this video too, acting like she spit bars and what she's saying makes sense. Save that shit and put it under her page. I don't like, that shit is lame. This shit is lame. It's stupid. It's counterintuitive. And it's a cult. Because if you can defend this level of stupidity, you're in a cult and I need you to get help right now. But if you made it to this point in the video, make sure you join the Discord if you want to join and chat it up with the community and never hop on stream. Whenever I'm streaming, having debates or having conversations, you call in, we can talk and all that. And if you made it to this point in the video, make sure you leave a like, comment, sub, if not one, then all three. And I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. Peace.